80 years have now passed since Allied troops stormed the beaches of Normandy. They risked their lives to liberate Europe and the world from the fascist grip of Nazi Germany. Chuck Holton brings us more from Colesville Cemetery in Pointe du Hoc, France.
On June 6, 1944, the course of world history changed as Allied forces launched a massive invasion on the beaches of Normandy. Among thousands of brave soldiers who risked everything that day was Tech Sergeant Charles Leonard Jones, whose story of courage and sacrifice is being brought to light by his great-nephew, Mark Tomlet.
My grandma remembers when he was right before he left for war. She was about 4 years old, and he would play catch with her and roll the ball back and forth. And she has a vivid memory of him smiling and laughing before he left. And that was the last time she ever saw him.
Tech Sergeant Jones survived the initial assault on D-Day only to be killed in action on July 4th. Tomlet is the first of his family to visit Jones' grave, making this a deeply personal journey to honor his great-uncle's sacrifice.
He made it almost a month after landing here on D-Day. His father found out what had happened one day when they came with the flags and he saw them outside. He just knew that his son was dead.
This June, another force will arrive on these shores, as more than 10,000 are expected to commemorate 80 years since the invasion. Many will visit Pointe du Hoc, a symbol of the spirit and sacrifices made to defend freedom. If the invasion was going to be a success on June 6, 1944, the 2nd and 5th Ranger Battalions had to take these cliffs here at Pointe du Hoc. It fell to them because they're the premier light infantry unit in the U.S. military. They were going to have to fire ropes up these 150-foot cliffs, climb up hand over hand, under fire, and take these coastal defense batteries. To say that it's sobering to walk among the graves of these more than 9,000 Americans who gave their lives back in 1944 here at Normandy Beach is the height of understatement. But it makes me think not just of the lives and the futures that these people gave up, but the fact that they gave them not just to liberate America, but to bring the ideal of America to another continent. And it makes me wonder how many Americans today would be willing to make such a sacrifice again.
There's a level of responsibility you feel to carry on for what he died for.
As the number of living D-Day veterans dwindles, thousands gather to commemorate this pivotal moment in history and reflect on the challenges the world faces today. Stories of veterans like Tech Sergeant Jones serve as an important reminder of the high cost of freedom and the unwavering spirit of those who fought to defend it. From the hallowed grounds of Normandy, France, I'm Chuck Holton for CBN News.
In 1984, on the 40th anniversary of D-Day, Ronald Reagan became the first U.S. president to travel to Colesville Cemetery to attend ceremonies and pay tribute to the fallen and the veterans who fought there. Last November, for Veterans Day, I talked with the 40th president's son, Michael, who shared about his dad and those who served during the Second World War. Michael, your dad was a World War II veteran, so was mine. So what set them apart from today's veterans? Anything? How were they any different?
I don't think they were different at all. I mean, they saved the world. It's just you talk about my dad being a veteran. I mean, this is a man who wanted to be in the Army so badly that he went out and he memorized all the eye charts because he was legally blind without his glasses. And so when he went in for his eye exam to join the Army, he had it memorized, and they would say, read line 3, and he'd just say whatever line 3 was. And that's how he got in the Army. Ended up retiring as a captain in the Army. Came out of nowhere and, ended up becoming president of the United States of America. But he honored those veterans from his era, especially at Normandy, France, back in 1984, when he was the first president to, in fact, speak at Normandy, France on D-Day. And every president has spoken on D-Day at Normandy, France.
We often talk about the negatives, Michael, but a lot of good things are happening as well. And I'm sure you've seen many positives from veterans that you've met. Tell us about some of them.
Well, I mean, the veterans, when I've been to Normandy, France on D-Day, and I've been there a couple of times, to be able to talk to these people who never patted themselves on the back. They always pointed at someone else and always gave credit to others. And it went so far when they did that, to be able to sit there, have them talk about others who were in the same boat as they were. The young man young man who jumped out of a plane on D-Day morning, who at 97 years old jumped out of a plane on D-Day a few years ago, tandem with another jumper, and they asked him when he got to the ground, "How was that?" He said, "A lot better than last time. They were shooting at me." So they have a great sense of humor. Many of them, they don't talk much about it, but you know what they went through just going there.
What's the best thing, Michael, we can do for our veterans?
Honor them every day. When you see one, say thank you. Usually they wear caps, so you kind of know who it is, and what have you. Thank them. But here's another way to thank those veterans of yesterday and the ones now who are retiring or moving from one position to another position. If you're flying on a plane and you're in first class or business, you got a good seat, you see them come on in uniform, you know what you do? You get up, give them your seat, and sit wherever their seat was. Exchange seats with them and say thank you. You will not believe the applause you will get from everybody on the plane. It's a great way to easily honor a vet or someone who's serving today in the military and say thank you.
Or maybe paying their dinner when you see them at a restaurant. Pay it forward. Okay.
Another way to do it.
Michael
Absolutely.
Reagan, we appreciate you. You're president of the Reagan Legacy Foundation. God bless you.
Thank you. ReaganLegacyFoundation.org.